The ocean calls to every man. Her voice glides across chasms and sails upon the open air. Her touch is gentle and her support uplifting. But beneath her beauty is depths of which even the imagination cannot pierce. Her soul harbors the dark, and below her bosom a serpent shifts through the black pits. If the sea is a body, then this snake is the spine. They are the vertebrae that act as the backbone to every man's fear. So, as you gaze into the abyss, be careful that you are not seen. In this video, I am to discuss the Leviathan, with the goal to entice people to read the works within the Bible, so that they may follow, more closely, the Word of God. If you enjoyed the contents of this video, please remember to like, and if you would want to see more, subscribe. The Leviathan is a writhing mass, stretching 300 miles. Its scales form a shield wall in which not even air can pass through. Its teeth act as the gates of hell. From its mouth it breathes fire, and smoke plumes from its nostrils. The very depths boil in its presence. It is chaos that cannot be killed. But before we explore the origins of the Leviathan, we will first discuss how its image has been portrayed in modern media. Gears of War is a third-person shooter created by Epic Games Studios, released exclusively for the Xbox 360 in 2006. It not only helped boost the console's sales, but it paved the way for the cover-based shooter genre it had created. The original trilogy followed the protagonist, Marcus Phoenix, a formerly imprisoned soldier who was released to help save humanity from their subterranean enemy. These underground dwellers are called Locusts, and began their full-scale invasion on a day now known as E-Day. During the second game, which was released in 2008, Marcus and his longtime friend, Dominic Santiago, are beneath Mount Kadar and are heading to a location known as the Nexus. In order to do that, they must first cross a lake and risk an encounter with a creature that even the Locusts fear. This creature is an aquatic animal that lived in bodies of water beneath the earth and then later above. The name of this creature is the Leviathan. Its hide is too thick to be pierced by bullets, and so too are its teeth. The only weak points the duo can capitalize on are the eyes of the beast and its open mouth. By continually targeting the optics and hurtling grenades down its jaws, they escape with their lives and can continue on with their mission. The Leviathan makes another appearance in Gears of War 3, released in 2011, and this time it is not alone. These Leviathans have turned lambent, a result of emulsion poisoning. 3 attack the towns of New Jacinto and Pelruin, where during each battle, the Leviathans release hundreds of polyps, which are small crab-like parasitic creatures with small abdomens and 6 legs. Later, yet another Leviathan attacks the CNV Sovereign, this one being twice the size of the others. It was defeated, but at a great cost, as the explosion destroyed the ship, causing the crew to wash up upon Hanover's coast. From Sergeant to Commander, the next game on our list is Mass Effect. Mass Effect is an action role-playing game developed by BioWare and was originally released for the Xbox 360 in 2007. During the events of the first game, Shepard is given a vision when he interacts with Prothean technology. The Protheans are an extinct advanced alien race who spanned the galaxy and then suddenly disappeared some 50,000 years ago. Fast forwarding to the third game, which was released in 2012. Commander Shepard, through a series of events, locates a planet where a mysterious signal transmits from. Here, he meets the Leviathans. The Leviathans are an ancient aquatic race that once dominated the galaxy. They regard themselves as the galaxy's first and only apex race. They were the inventors of a galactic threat known as the Reapers, and because of their creations, they were forced into hiding, with the Reapers then cleansing the galaxy every 50,000 years for billions of years ever since. Last, we take a look at Devil May Cry. It was released by Capcom in 2001. Fast forwarding to the third game, released in 2005, we are introduced to the Leviathan. DMC has more obvious biblical inspirations than other gaming franchises, and so when Dante is swallowed by a whale-like monster, it should sound familiar. Within Devil May Cry 3, the Leviathan is a biological weapon which was created by the Devil King. Its body is a gateway to the hell of envy, and it is fueled by the souls of those who were sent to hell for jealousy. Dante makes his way through the beast and slays it by destroying its heart, causing it to die and fall onto a location known as the Subterranean Garden. As you would have noticed, the three chosen examples do not depict the Leviathan as a great sea serpent. It is better suited as a kraken or a whale-like entity. This is due to the many theorized interpretations of the past and present. Let's first begin with the Bible. Within the Old Testament, the Leviathan is mentioned by name 6 times. The word Leviathan originates from the Hebrew word, meaning twisted or coiled. This alone should indicate the creature's true appearance. More indication of its true form is Psalm chapter 74 verse 14, where it tells us of the Leviathan having more than one head. In fact, the amount of heads is suggested within Revelations chapter 12 verses 1 to 17. Here it speaks of a woman giving birth, where beneath a great red dragon waits, with 7 heads and 10 horns. This entire chapter can be interpreted many ways, but it is most commonly thought that the woman is to be Mary, or Israel, that the child is undeniably Jesus Christ, and that the dragon is Satan. The dragon's tail, swiping the third of the stars, aligns with Satan and his angels falling from heaven, as it is recorded that a third of heaven was lost on that day. Satan being described as a great dragon is also seen elsewhere within the Bible, and this, coupled with the other similar descriptions, leads people to the belief that the Leviathan is the devil himself. To further support the Leviathan being teamed with evil, I previously mentioned how many times the word Leviathan appears within the Old Testament, this being a total of 6 times, which is a number commonly associated with the devil. Other mentions of the Leviathan can be seen within the Septuagint. The Septuagint is often referred to as the Greek Old Testament, or the translation of the 70, as it is the earliest extant Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible. Within, it sheds a negative light on both the Leviathan and another biblical monster, the Behemoth. It states that both were created to be mocked by angels. This unholy opinion of the Leviathan carried on into the early days of the Christian Church, and then still persisted within the medieval ages. It was during this period that the Leviathan and Satan became intertwined in the image of evil. Seen upon a medieval relief of the 15th century is Jesus freeing Adam and Eve out of Leviathan's jaws, and therefore freeing them from the gates of hell. However, Jesus isn't the only one depicted defeating the Leviathan, as the Canaanite god Baal slays a 7-headed dragon, according to the Baal cycle. The tales of legends of other such similar events only echo the original tellings. When the Jewish Midrash, the explanations of the Tanakh, were being composed, it was believed that God had originally produced a male and a female Leviathan. However, out of concern of the damage the two and their offspring could do to the world and its inhabitants, God slew the female and then proceeded to spade the male. For one to understand the true extent of God's power, one should turn to the book of Job. Job lived in the land of Uz, which is now modern-day Saudi Arabia. He was not an Israelite, but was a righteous and godly man. He feared the Lord and shunned evil. He was not a simple man. He was rich with wealth, livestock, children, and servants. Job would serve the Lord by ministering to his family and ensured his children were purified before each feast. He would make burnt offerings before the Lord, asking for forgiveness on the chance of his children sinning. This is how much he feared the Lord and how he came to be blessed because of his obedience. That was until the day Satan slithers into the picture. Satan posits that the only reason for Job's worship and belief in the Lord is because the Most High has given him the things he desires. If God takes away what has been given, then surely Job's faith will fade too. God agrees to allow Satan to involve himself in Job's life, on the condition that Job is spared. What happened next was a series of events that spanned over time. Job's oxen, donkeys, and his servants were killed. Fire fell from the sky and burned up his sheep. His camels were killed. His house was destroyed. His children were killed. And agonizing sores appeared on his head and feet. Regardless of all the pain that had been inflicted upon Job, he still worshipped the Lord, saying, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." More afflictions are pressed upon Job, resulting in his wife encouraging him to curse against the Most High, and then his friends convincing him that the recent events must be a result of a grievous sin against the Lord. God interrupts the conversation between Job and his friends and demands that Job be brave enough to answer the Lord's questions. These questions were rhetorical in nature, not patronizing, but allowed Job to realize how little he knew of existence and the broadness of God's reach into things humans cannot even begin to perceive, and how they cannot understand God's reasoning. It is during this time where God mentions the Leviathan. Can you pull in the Leviathan with a fishhook, or tie down his tongue with a rope? Can you put a cord through his nose or pierce his jaw with a hook? Will he beg you for mercy? Will he speak to you with gentle words? Will he make an agreement with you for you to take it as your slave? Can you pet him like a bird or put him on a leash? Can you fill his hide with harpoons or his head with fishing spears? If you lay a hand on him, you will remember the struggle and never do it again. Any hope of subduing him is false. The mere sight of him is overpowering. No one is fierce enough to rouse him. Who then is able to stand against me? Who has a claim against me that I must pay? Everything under heaven belongs to me. I will not fail to speak of his limbs, his strength, and his graceful form. Who can strip off his outer coat? Who would approach him with a bridle? Who dares open the doors of his mouth, ringed about with his fearsome teeth? His back has rows of shields tightly sealed together. Each is so close to the next that no air can pass between. They are joined fast to one another. They cling together and cannot be parted. His snorting throws out flashes of light. His eyes are like the rays of dawn. Firebrands stream from his mouth. Sparks of fire shoot out. Smoke pours from his nostrils as from a boiling pot over a fire of reeds. His breath sets coals ablaze, and flames dart from his mouth. Strength resides in his neck. Dismay goes before him. The folds of his flesh are tightly joined. They are firm and immovable. His chest is hard as rock, hard as a lower millstone. When he rises up, the mighty are terrified. They retreat before his thrashing. The sword that reaches him has no effect, nor does the spear or the dart or the javelin. Iron he treats like straw and bronze like rotten wood. Arrows do not make him flee. Slingstones are like chaff to him. A club seems to him but a piece of straw. He laughs at the rattling of the lance. His undersides are jagged potsherds, leaving a trail in the mud like a threshing sledge. He makes the depths churn like a boiling cauldron and stirs up the sea like a pot of ointment. Behind him he leaves a glistening wake. One would think the deep had white hair. Nothing on earth is his equal, a creature without fear. God's description of Leviathan gave us a detailed look into the anatomy of the beast. As previously mentioned, there are other theories that paint the Leviathan in many different shapes and sizes. Returning to the 15th century depiction of Christ rescuing Adam and Eve, it is here we see the Leviathan imagined as a whale. It is believed that this imagination of the creature trickled down into the following centuries and was the inspiration to Moby Dick. The French Protestant biblical scholar Samuel Bochart was not only a scholar but also an antiquarian. He tasked himself with identifying the biblical fauna and flora of the events mentioned within the Bible. This was spawned by critiques of the scriptures, questioning their scientific accuracy, thus leading him to believe the Leviathan was a crocodile-like creature. In conclusion, the attempts to prove the existence of the Leviathan have led people down many different paths. Its image is that of a monster. Monsters represent evil, darkness, and chaos. They are the enemy to a people, nation, or individual. They are something that balances on the fine thread of order and chaos, reality and fiction, life and death. It is the apex predator of the physical world. To man, it is the immovable stone. To God, it is but a pebble that, like dye, will be cast on Judgment Day. All will be judged according to his will. Any who stand against him, whether they be men, monsters, or deities, will all kneel, and with their tongue confess. As mentioned in the beginning of this video, the aim is to get you interested in the works of the Bible. If your interest has been piqued, then please read the original text yourself. If you have any suggestions on what subjects relating to the Bible that you'd like to see me tackle, then please comment down below. Similarly, if you have additional commentary on the Leviathan, please leave a comment. I look forward to reading them. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe, as it helps the channel immensely. God bless and goodbye.